Hello Gooners and Goonerettes and other football fans out there, and even if you're not a football fan, thank you for joining. Today I want to talk about Arsenal season review and how I believe it's gone so far. So I'm going to talk about the game against Newcastle, I'm going to talk about the game against Burnley, Liverpool and Tottenham, and then I want to talk about 4 topics as well. I want to talk about Emery's tactics, Granit Xhaka, Joe Willock and Reiss Nelson's impact, and what is everyone's favourite back four when everyone's fit.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
So yeah, looking at the fixtures before the start of the season, now going into the international break, if I was to look at the first 4 fixtures and I was to say like Newcastle away, Burnley at home, Liverpool away and then Tottenham at home. Now looking at them sort of fixtures, I probably would have said we should get at least 7 points. And that's what the points tally that we're on now. Now, when you look at Newcastle haven't beaten us. I think they've beaten us once in the last 11 games. So and that's at their ground as well. So going into that sort of game against Newcastle, we are expected to sort of win that anyway. Going into the game at Burnley have never beaten Arsenal in the Premier League, and we've won every single time we played them against at home. Liverpool, we haven't won there since the last time, it was 2012. And then the game against Tottenham. Now Tottenham have only beaten us once at the Emirates since we've joined there, and they've only beaten us twice at home since Premier League started. So yeah, looking at them sort of ways, I thought we should pick up 3 points against Newcastle. We should pick up 3 points against Burnley. Going into the Liverpool game, no one's expecting us to win. So it was one of them sort of ones where we take a point, or even if we get a win, it's a bonus. So no one's expecting us to win. We probably, you know what I mean? So that sort of kind of rules that one out. And then the game against Tottenham is either hit or miss. It's like we either win or we draw. So that's why I say minimum 7 points between them first 4 games. So yeah, that's what we're on at the moment. And you know what, I can see a little bit of a change from when it was last year, so I'm actually quite happy with the way things are going. But going into that game against Newcastle, now if you look at the game against Newcastle from the get-go, the team lineup. Now the team lineup wasn't the strongest, but luckily, like I said, luckily it was against Newcastle where we are expected to go there and we are expected to win. But players like Joe Willock started, Reiss Nelson started, Guendouzi, who's been absolutely awesome this year, Nathan Niles, and like you say, Mkhitaryan was there, Aubameyang was there. But yeah, going into that game, we were expected to win. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't the greatest game to watch as a neutral. But going in that sort of game, we're expected to kind of win there. But like I said, Reiss Nelson had an impact. You know, and Reiss Nelson, that's one thing I will say. He's brought his sort of form from when he's come from Hoffenheim on loan, and he's brought that into this Arsenal team. And then Joe Willock, outstanding in pre-season, and he brought that into the stage of that Newcastle game as well. So but look, going into that Newcastle game, like I said before, we are expected to win these sort of games. So I wasn't sort of surprised with the result, but I was surprised with the team he's put up. Now, luckily, like I say, with the team lineup we put out, if it was against any other team, I don't know if that team would have kind of like pulled us together and got us a result. But at the end of the day, 3 points is what we got, and 3 points is what we needed to kick ourselves on for the next game against Burnley. Now going into that game against Burnley, it was like Pepe's sort of like had a little of impact against the game against Newcastle, and then seeing him come on the second half against Burnley, and he's sort of like, he could tell what Pepe is going to bring, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing what Pepe can bring as well, because he's going to bring in sort of like, he just needs that goal. Once he gets that goal, he'll kick on. The game against Burnley, when you look at it as well, tough game, absolute tough game. We go 1-0 up, and then we kind of go 1-1, and we shoot ourselves in the foot, sloppy defending. But Arsenal got that something against Burnley at home. They've won every single time they played Burnley at home. So playing Burnley, we're scraping through. But like I said, it's another win. Tough game against Burnley, absolute tough game. And you know what? His starting lineup for that one was a lot more stronger than it was against Newcastle, so he needed to be a lot stronger. He definitely needed to be a lot stronger. And at the end of the day, Burnley were a lot threatening than what Newcastle was the week before. And that was the case of like, I don't know what this philosophy is. Why is Arsenal playing from the back all the time? If it didn't work before, and if it didn't work again, change it up. You've got to sometimes change it up. You can't just keep on going with the sort of like, we're told to do this and we're going to do this. Sometimes if things don't work in life, you change it up. You can't keep on going with the same. You can't go in for the same philosophy. And lucky enough, it didn't pay against Burnley. So I think it's cost. Like I say, we got that 3 points, and that was 6 points out of 6, and it was a lot better than what we had last year. Because last year we had an absolute mare start. We did play the likes of Man City and Chelsea, but we had no points after 2 games. So picking up 6 points out of 6 going into that game against Liverpool, it was an absolute must. We needed to pick up them 6 points, and that's what we did, and that's what we needed to do, and that's what everyone expected. If I was to say them 2 games, I expected to win them 2 games. So I was never really on the sort of like threat. We needed to kind of go into that Liverpool and Tottenham game with 6 points, and the 6 points is what we got. So I'm quite happy with the 6 points that we picked up. Now, going into the Liverpool game. Now, the Liverpool game was, to me, it was wrong from the get-go. Absolutely wrong from the get-go. Lineup, players not playing, formation. Literally, it was wrong from the get-go. And you know what? We played into Liverpool's game. You know what I mean? Absolutely gave Liverpool absolute freedom. Don't get me wrong, standout player for that game was Pepe. Should have scored. But when you're playing Liverpool, do not give them the opportunities. Especially playing Liverpool at Anfield. Playing Liverpool at Anfield is like basically, it's a hard place to go anyway. But if you play into their hands and you give them the sort of the freedom that they want, for them wing backs to destroy you, they'll destroy you. And that's the thing, they did destroy us. I remember there was one part of the game where Robinson and Arnold was on our edge of the box, on the edge of our box. Now you tell me, 2 wing backs on the edge of our box, the reason why that was? The formation. He went for a different formation. He went for 2 up top, 1 behind, 3 there, and 4 at the back. A diamond against Liverpool. Think about it. You go for a diamond, leave space on the wing. 2 of the best wing backs in the Premier League. Absolute freedom. So from the get-go, it was an absolute mare, an absolute wrong tactic for Emery. It did work last year, and it didn't work last year. But don't go to Anfield and play them tactics, because you'd absolutely play into Liverpool's hands. So from the get-go against Liverpool, you know what, when I seen the lineup, I thought, oh no, it's not too bad. But when I seen the formation, I didn't expect anything else apart from defeat. And when you look at that game against Liverpool, no one can tell me, when he brought on Lucas Torreira scored, but no one can tell me he brought on Lucas Torreira to score a goal. He brought on Lucas Torreira to keep the scoreline down. And lucky enough, we didn't concede when Lucas Torreira come on, and we scored. But he didn't bring Lucas Torreira on to change the game. He brought on Lucas Torreira to keep a scoreline down. And that's what really annoyed me that day. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Tottenham game. Now, we all know how I think about the Tottenham game. Now, the Tottenham game, to me, it means everything to me as well. Absolute everything to me, this game means. So, when I seen the team line up again, same way I fought against Liverpool. Not too bad. What the hell was going on in the middle? Why are we playing 3 defensive midfielders in the middle? And that's the way I looked at that game. I thought to myself, creativity. We're going to need creativity for our front 3. Where is it? Is it coming from Granit Xhaka? Is it coming from Lucas Torreira? Or is it coming from Guendouzi? All 3 defensive midfielders. Don't get me wrong, Guendouzi assist for Aubameyang's goal. But why did he get that assist? He got that assist because he brought on Ceballos. So when Ceballos came on, Tottenham dropped deep. And that gave Guendouzi the freedom to move forward as well. Because Tottenham dropped back and back and back. So again, going into that game, tactics was the one that let us down. Don't get me wrong, Leno, schoolboy error. As a schoolboy, you're told if you get the ball, push it around the post. Don't claw it back in. Another schoolboy error. Granit Xhaka. Stay on your feet. They say, don't they? But no, he don't do that. In his mentality, I've got to slide in. I've got to make a wonderful tackle here and the crowd would go wild if I win the ball. The crowd didn't go wild. The crowd went mental because you're looking at Granit Xhaka and thinking to ourselves, he's done it again. And that, you know what, like I said before, I said it in my previous post, lucky enough we have the players up front to get us back into the game. But this won't happen all year round and all season around. This will not happen every time. We can't not be making these mistakes. But lucky enough, like I say, looking at the fixtures at the first four, I would have taken 7 points minimum. 9 points is probably what we were expected to get, because Anfield is one of them sort of ones where it's a hit and miss mostly the time. Like I say, we haven't won there since 2012, so 7 years we haven't won there, so we're not expected to go there and get a result, because we've been getting slapped most of the time that we go there. So yeah, they're the sort of like review, the way I think of the season so far. I'm alright about it. I see a little bit of a change. The players that have come in, they have made a little bit of a change. I like Ceballos. Now he is on loan for a year. You've got to play this guy as much as you can. You've got to play Ceballos as much as you can. So don't have him on loan and put him on the bench and give him a 30-minute cameo. You've got to play Ceballos and you've got to start him all the time, because he is literally a game changer, and that's what we need. Then you look at the players like Aubameyang. I feel sorry for Aubameyang, but he's getting the goals that we need. Absolute star of a player. You look at his record. I think I looked at it and it was like 69 games or something like that, and it's 44 goals. So he ain't, and he's played most of them games on the wing as well. So he's a prolific goal scorer, and we all see that. Like I said, Pepe already, he just needs that goal. Once Pepe gets that goal, he'll kick on, because he's ripping defenders apart anyway. So once he gets that goal, he'll kick on. Guendouzi, you know, I want to congratulate Guendouzi as well, getting that call up for France. So hopefully that will sort of like move his career a bit more forward. And you know, like I said before, if he stays at Arsenal, he could be a future captain. Then it's like the likes of David Luiz, like David Luiz coming in. Now, I just thought about this actually, because with the likes of, say, Rob Holding's coming back, Tierney's coming back, and Bellerin's coming back, and I was thinking to myself, do we go with David Luiz in the midfield and then play the likes of Rob Holding and Socrates in the middle? So I don't know, what does everyone sort of think of that as well? Everyone think it's sort of a good idea? Does everyone think like maybe not? Let me know, drop a comment what you think about David Luiz maybe pushing up to the midfield. So yeah, then I want to kind of like talk about sort of Emery's tactics. Now, Emery's tactics, do I believe he's getting his tactics right, or do I believe he's getting his tactics wrong? To me, my opinion, like I say, your opinion, I want to hear your opinion as well, but my opinion, I believe he's getting them wrong. Absolute wrong. I'm not calling for the guy's next. I think he's done a fantastic job at Arsenal. I believe he done the maximum out of them players that he had last season. That's probably the maximum we could get, 5th place. Don't get me wrong, we bottled it at the end and we could have got top 4 and we should have won the Europa League. But with what he's done with Arsenal so far from last year, that was the maximum he was going to get out of the deadwood that we had in that squad. Now, looking at his tactics this year, even like team selection as well, when you start with the first game against Newcastle, you look at Newcastle and the team sheet, and luckily, like I said before, it was just Newcastle. Any other team, I don't think we would have got a result there, especially away from home. We're not the greatest away from home. And you look at Emery's Seville record, he went a whole season without winning 1 game for Seville away from home. So he ain't here like when Wenger was at the end of Wenger's sort of term, we weren't winning many games away from home. And then like Emery last year, he wasn't winning many games away from home. So he's not got that sort of great record away from home for Seville and even for Arsenal. So his team lineup for the Newcastle game, to me, completely wrong. Don't get me wrong, we got the 3 points in the end, but why have a player like Pepe? Don't get me wrong, Pepe just literally just come into the team and it was only about a week and a bit in the team. But to me, if you're on the bench, you're fit to play. You're fit to play. If you're on the bench, you're fit to play. But you end up playing Mkhitaryan. And we all know what's happened there. Mkhitaryan's gone away now. Do you know what I mean? So, and then you look at the game against Burnley. So I'm going to go game for game with Emery's tactics. Newcastle, the lineup. Burnley, they're playing from the back. They're playing from the back. All right, Emery, we know you want to play from the back. But do you want to play from the back every single time, even when you're under pressure? Don't believe you should be doing that. The Liverpool game. Let's play a diamond. Oh, two of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. We'll play a diamond. Wrong again. Tottenham. We'll play 3 defensive midfielders, but we'll have 3 attackers. No creativity. So to me, every single game that we played this season, the 4 games we played, Emery's got 4 tactics wrong. So I don't believe his tactics are right. But like I said before, I'm not calling for his neck. Can someone tell me if they agree, or if they don't agree? Let me know. Drop a comment and let me know. Going on to the second one, Granit Xhaka. Now we all know how I think of Granit Xhaka. I put a poll up on my Instagram and I said, do you believe Granit Xhaka should stay in the starting 11 or should he be dropped? Now, not one comment came back saying he should start. So I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one seeing it. And I don't believe Granit Xhaka should be in the starting 11. And especially knowing he's one of the 5 captains. Where does that go wrong? He came out with a comment the other day and he said like, oh, people always remember my tackle. No one remembers the chances we missed. In football, no one's perfect. People do miss chances. People do make mistakes. But they don't make mistakes as many times as him. They're not a liability as much as him. Yellow cards, red cards, everything. What does Granit Xhaka bring to Arsenal? What has Granit Xhaka brought to Arsenal since he's been there? Let me think. Nothing. Granit Xhaka has brought absolutely nothing to Arsenal. He's brought maybe a vulnerability to Arsenal. That's all he's probably brought. Every time Granit Xhaka plays, Arsenal's midfield is always going to be vulnerable because he has the mentality to dive in. He has the mentality to get sent off. People might say, but Granit Xhaka's pass ratio is really good. It is. It probably is. But you pass 5 metres there and 5 metres there, you shouldn't miss a pass that way. But when he's pinging balls over there, look at the long ball pass ratio. It ain't the greatest. It ain't getting many balls on the people's feet when he's passing it over there and there, long balls. So his pass ratio ain't that great. Anyone can pass left and right. So what does he really bring? I don't believe he brings anything. But like I said as well, I want to hear people's sort of like thoughts of what the Granit Xhaka. Because like I said, I put up a poll on my Instagram, and anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, it's at Simon_everything_Arsenal. So if you want to follow me, even if you want to comment on my Granit Xhaka post, or you want to post on here, let me know how you feel about the Granit Xhaka situation as well. But like I say, I don't believe he should be in the starting 11 anymore, and he should definitely not be one of the 5 captains, because I think that's another Emery thing. We go back to the Emery thing. 1 in 5 captains. What's all that about? But we'll move on. We'll move on to the third one with Joe Willock and Reece Nelson's impact. Now, absolutely fantastic players. They're going to be in the making. You look at like Reece Nelson, how we done over in Hoffenheim, and people might say different league, but you know what? When I see Reece Nelson and what he brings to the wing, he's a creativity player. He run at you, and that's what we need. And I feel sorry for him as well, because the last game against Tottenham, when he didn't play, and then Mkhitaryan plays, and in 24 hours Mkhitaryan goes away to Roma, Reece Nelson must be looking and going, why am I not playing? You just loan this player out. Why am I not playing? I can create goals. I can run at players. And like I say, At that stage, Tottenham would drop in. So the likes of Reece Nelson would have been that sort of player to come on and make more of an impact than Mkhitaryan did, because Mkhitaryan absolutely made no impact at all. And that's why I believe Reece Nelson in the future will be an absolute star, as long as we keep playing him and not giving him League Cup here and 20 minutes there. We've got to keep him playing these guys. Joe Willock, absolute star of a player. We've seen what he done in pre-season. To me, of the pre-season, he was a standout player. For all of the players that we've got, he was a standout player. And like I say again, you've got to give these kids a chance, and you've got to play these kids. Don't be giving them 20 minutes here and there. Give these please give these players a chance, because they know what, they can prove that they are worth being in an Arsenal starting 11, because I believe they can, and I believe if they keep on going the way they are, I believe they will. So like I say, I want to ask people how you lot think with the Joe Willock and Reece Nelson's impact. How do you think they've done this season, and how do you think they're going to be doing in the future of their careers? Going on to the last topic against best back four. What is everyone's favourite back four when the likes of Tierney, Bellerin and Holding all come back in? Now we know what the back four was against Tottenham. We had Nathan Niles on the right, we had Socrates and David Luiz centre back, and we had Kolasinac. Now, looking at sort of like Tierney when he comes back in, to me, this is what I would say my favourite back four. But I'm going to ask you as well, what would you be your favourite back four? So I want you to drop a comment and say what your favourite back four would be. So, looking at my favourite back four, I would go, and this is what I said earlier on as well, but I would go with Tierney left back, right back's got to be Bellerin, Rob Holding and Socrates. And the reason why I say that, because when I thought about it, if we can get rid of Granit Xhaka in the midfield, why don't we play David Luiz in there? So that's why I would go with that back four. And then I want to think to myself as well, what happens to the likes of Nathan Niles when Bellerin comes back? Does he stay that sort of second choice right back? Or do we move Nathan Niles where he's actually more prolific, where he's actually originally meant to play centre midfield? Because there's no point having him as a step up, as a second choice right back when he's not a right back. So yeah, I want to ask people. So please drop a comment and let me know what your favourite back four. But like I said, my favourite back four would be Tierney, Holding, Socrates and Bellerin. And the reason why I say that is because I would move David Luiz into midfield and take Granit Xhaka out, and that gives you that sort of more better of a midfield. But yeah, what is your favourite back four, and what do you think our strongest back four is as well? So let me know what the comments is. But like I say, thank you for watching my review, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. But yeah, thank you again, and I'll talk to you again soon.